Okay, this is Talk Floor TV. We're at the Carpet One convention. We're in the Just Shorn stand. I'm with Stu Chapman. And Stu, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, David. How are you?
Okay, now tell us what Just Shorn is. I think most of people know, but just in case somebody's been in Peru or something.
It's a branded New Zealand product. So it's based around natural wool and carpets and rugs, and it's about educating consumers on the attributes of wool. So we introduced the brand so that we could get directly to the consumer to change their thinking around wool. Obviously, there's been 30 or 40 years gone by where maybe 2 generations and people out there just don't understand the real attributes of wool.
Now, you've got some beautiful products here, which I'm going to ask you to show us, before we shut this thing down. But again, people our age, I think, have a different view than people that are, 50 and below?
That's right. As I say, I think there's probably been a generation or two that have lost the education around the values of wool. And that's what we've got to do, and that's a part of the branding strategy behind Just Shorn, is to make sure there's the story and the education, and that's why we're concentrating it with Carpet One, because they operate in the segment of the market that we believe wool will be pitched at.
So what happened was, I guess, the people that produce wool and market wool didn't market as much as they used to, or why did this happen?
That's correct. We had a monopoly wool board that used to sell wool into the US, and that was unwound in the mid-90s. And I guess we're paying the price of 30 or 40 years of no real promotion and no real branding. I guess wool was sold to manufacturers up here, and it was done on the back of dinners and large gatherings and so on and so forth, all for the wrong reasons. And we forgot about what the value of wool was.
Now, is this true with wool apparel, wool things, or just primarily in floor cover?
Primarily in floor coverings. Apparel is in the finer end, so you got your merinos that are filling that niche, and Icebreaker have done a really good job of that. And our story is not a lot different to Icebreaker, but in a different segment.
So I've always sort of felt that most consumers don't really see high-end carpet, period, in a lot of stores, let alone wool, and they don't have a chance to even say no to it.
That's right. There's so many stores throughout the US that don't even sell any wool today, which is absolutely a tragedy. It's been all around nylon synthetics. And, if you compare the two fibres, honestly, wool has got so many more outstanding attributes versus a synthetic. You got fire retardant, you got water repellent, you got non-allergenic, all wonderful qualities for a family.
Well, and I guess the green story ought to really pop today with an awful lot of consumers.
Yeah, there is a more of a trend towards that green, eco-friendly type product, and wool being renewable and sustainable and recyclable, it fits all the criteria, and it's the only fibre in the flooring segment that does.
Now, we've talked about wool over the last couple of years, I think. Now, the samples are out now. I know you're having a lot of activity here. A lot of people are responding to you. Talk about what you're telling.
Yeah, so it's gone into Carpet One from about the late February, and we've had really good sales through March, April, May. Flattened a little bit in June, but July has gone another step up again. So we're seeing a lot more inquiry here today. We will sign up a number of more stores, and the more stores that we can get the story out there, the more people we can get to. That's fantastic, and CCA have done a tremendous job for us. They're a great partner, as is Godfrey Hirst, who is our manufacturing partner.
Now, there's even a price story here. I mean, a lot of people have in their mind, including myself maybe, that wool is really, really expensive, and that's not necessarily the case.
No, so we've pitched this collection, or the product range, we've pitched it at 3 different levels, and so there is a good entry point type product, and right up to the higher end. So we think we've got most of the demographics covered. If you're looking for something that's really cheap, then we're not going to be there.
But it's not super expensive necessarily, not going to be, too much for an ordinary family to consider.
No, definitely not. And I think that's where you've got to sell the attributes of wool. If you explain to a family, you can wear wool on your body, why wouldn't you have your children wandering around on wool on the floor? Makes perfectly good common sense.
No, I think the operative point here is, it seems to me, that wool will be found in stores that we don't necessarily consider higher-end stores.
That's right. Carpet One, I guess, have a range of stores that operate in different segments, so they will sell that fits their segment. As I say, we've got a product range that suits across the board.
I see that's a sheep calling whistle that I hear in the background, I guess. So what does that mean? Turn left or something like that?
That is indeed a sheep's whistle, which calls the dogs. So dogs can call to the left, call to the right, call far away, stop, or call back. They do a fantastic job in the hill country.
Have you done that?
I can whistle. I have not trained a dog.
You're not a sheep. You've not been a sheep herder.
I'm not a sheep farmer by vocation. I've got a beef farm and a dairy farm, but I love wool as a fibre, and I personally have committed a lot of time and resource and investment to the Just Shorn program, and because we need to have sustainable wool growers, sustainable sheep farmers in New Zealand. Otherwise, us as a business don't have a sustainable business. It's simple. It's economic.
With a gap of 2 generations, I think that's what you said, you've got a heck of an educational challenge ahead of you.
That's right, and that's why we've taken a very much narrow focus, and it's concentrated on, a couple of chains, only concentrated around CCA. If we'd taken a scattergun approach, we'd have made no progress whatsoever. Just can't do it.
What are your expectations?
We would hope that this program would turn into somewhere between 500, 750,000 a week, US a week.
Could I get you to show us some of this product? Sure. But by the way, that's a wool shirt, isn't it?
It is. This is a merino wool polo. Beautiful. It's light in the summer, cool in the winter, and warm in the winter. Fantastic.
You're a true believer.
I am, absolutely.
Okay, let me show us some of this.